What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here, welcome back to the channel. And for today's Yu-Gi-Oh news video, it's been about a week because obviously we had Clash of the Castle this past Saturday, and of course we had Worlds Collide on Sunday. So unfortunately I wasn't able to make any Yu-Gi-Oh news videos. The only Yu-Gi-Oh video I was able to make was obviously Friday's episode of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, which if you guys haven't checked it out, I recommend you check it out. The next course is going to be rather unique, to say the very least. But speaking of unique sets, we are here to talk about the second archetype that will be in the next deck build set, Amazing Defenders, and it is known as the Purery archetype. Now, Purery's is kind of like a Pokemon based archetype because the main monster. Because the main deck monster revolves around the main deck revolves around one main deck monster, and it kind of looks like an Eevee, which is hilarious. So that's why I called it a Pokemon based deck. I'm gonna be honest, this is probably by far the weirdest deck I've ever talked about on the channel, because there's only one main deck monster. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 extra deck monsters, and then I believe we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spells and traps, and then a reprint for, I guess, for the archetype. I don't know what the hell this deck. I don't even know if this deck is ever going to be meta, because you would literally need to have like a bunch of like hand traps and whatnot to ensure that you're able to just combo off against your opponent. Kind of excuse me, kind of similar to the Sky Striker archetype, basically, but whatever. I'll try to explain these as best as I can. Normally I do, but if you guys are ready for this video, and you guys want to see more Yu-Gi-Oh news videos, which get posted on Tuesdays and sometimes on weekends, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys follow me on all my social media. Links are in the description below, and of course, if you guys have any fan mail that you guys want to send me and you guys want me to open it up on the channel, all the info will be in the description as well. And before we get started, I want to address something really quickly. So I'm sure you guys have seen other Yu-Gi-Tubers out there, guys like Ruxin34, Team Samurai, Simply Unlucky, Simo, MBT, Farfa, Nim, Crush Cards, guys like them, and you guys comment. I'm sure you guys all post in their comments what you guys think about the content or whatever, and you always get replies from them saying to send them money on WhatsApp or whatever. Here's the thing. I'm sure at some point, because I've never had that issue before, but if it does happen at some point and you get those types of replies, trust me when I tell you, it is not me. I am not that guy. I will never ask for you guys to send me money or anything like that, unless if I was doing like a charity or something like that, collabing with doing a collab with other content creators, then obviously donations, yeah, obviously. But I just wanted to let you guys know that if at some point they give you a link to a WhatsApp or whatever, make sure you guys go to their page, and if it does not show any of my videos, it's not me. I'm just letting you guys know right now. I would never ask you guys I will never ask you guys to send me money. No way. No way in hell. That is not me. I am not that cruel. Trust me. You know, but obviously, again, as I had mentioned before, if I was doing a collab with other content creators and they were doing, you know, they were hosting a charity event, then obviously, yes, I will send, I will post a link to you know, to that charity website, and you guys could obviously donate. But WhatsApp, any of that bullshit, I don't use WhatsApp. I don't have Cash App. None of that BS. I just wanted to let you guys know, because obviously it will happen at some point. But with that being said, let's get straight into it. So first up, we have Purery, which is actually the name of the monster, funny enough, which is a 1-star light fairy with a measly 100 attack and defense, and has 2 separate effects, which the first effect reads: if this card is normal or special summon, you can excavate the top 3 cards of your deck. You can add 1 excavated Purery spell or trap to your hand, and place the rest on the bottom of the deck in any order. The second effect reads: once per turn, you can reveal 1 Purery Quickplay spell in your hand, and if you do, special summon 1 XCs Monster that mentions it from your extra deck using this face-up card you control as material, and is treated as an XC summon. If you do, attach the reveal card to it as an additional material. Okay, so basically, this is the whole combo starter. This is the combo starter of the whole deck. It's a pot. It's a pot of duality, which is awesome. Obviously, you're obviously able to, you know, add 1, you know, Purery spell, you know, spell or trap to your hand, and the best part, you can actually take that card and attach it to one of your XCs monsters as a material, which is actually pretty good. And there's actually a few of them. There's Purery, there's Purery, Happiness, there's Beauty, there's Plump. That's what she said. There's there's Happiness, and there's also another one as well that's known as Noir. Purery Noir, which I will talk about those here in a second. But this is basically the combo starter. It's a pot of duality, and you're able to just add, you know, take one of your Purery back row, reveal it, special summon an XCs monster that mentions the monster, you know, the card from your deck, from your extra deck, and then you're able to just attach more. So this is perfect for using cards. I think cards like Overlay Regen would be a pretty cool one. Let me take a look. I will just randomly choose a deck. So for a deck like this, obviously cards such as Overlay Eater would be a pretty cool card to use. Overlay Regen, Overlay Capture might be a pretty cool one. Let's see, what does Capture do? Target a face-up XCs Monster Pro controls that has XCs material and a face-up XCs Monster you control. It's detach. Detach XCs, all XCs materials from the opponent's monster, and attach this card to your... Yeah, so cards like Overlay Capture, and also I would say Numbers Overlay Boost, but those are some of the cards that you can use to basically attach cards to your XCs monsters as material, which is really cool. That's actually pretty cool, I have to admit. Excuse me. Now for the XCs monster. So first up, we have a Purery Happiness, which is a rank 2 light fairy XCs, obviously, with 2,000 attack and 100 defense, and it requires 2 level 2 monsters. and it has two separate effects. And the first effect reads: if this card battles at the end of the damage step, you can add one Purery card from your deck to your hand. Also, if this card has Purery Happy Memory as material, you can make the attack of one face-up card on the field become halved. That's actually pretty cool. I believe I believe Memory is the spell, one of the spells, isn't it? Yeah, Purery Happy Memory. I think each one has to have a certain card to use. That's actually pretty cool. So, that's actually pretty cool. Second effect reads thrice, not twice, thrice, meaning you can actually use the effect 3 times per turn. When you activate a Purery Quickplay spell as a quick effect, you can attach that card on the field to this card's material. Then then you can return a spell trap your opponent controls to the hand. Okay. So basically, this second effect is basically a Mass Hero Blast where you're able to just take Yeah. I thought so. This is okay. Before I continue, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about right here. This is off of Crush Cards, IG. This is off of their story. Obviously, it says right here Telegram. It's a bot. It's a bot. So if any of that comes up in the comments of any of my videos, trust me when I tell you, it's not me. I am not that guy. I just wanted to let you guys know right now, before we go any further. I would never ask you guys to send me money. No. Hell no. That ain't me. Trust me, guys. And the reason why I say it is because, and the reason why I decided to talk about it now is because for me, over the years, my Facebook, my Twitter, and my Instagram, every now and then will get hacked, and I've also had been dealt with I've been dealt with catfish and of course blackmailers. So don't ever fall for that bullshit. Trust me, guys, don't ever fall for it. It's not right. Trust me. But moving on. But so what's interesting about this card is that if you have Happy Memory as the material for happiness, you can actually make one of your opponent's monsters attack, get cut in half, and they'll be dealt even more damage than you would least expect. And not only that, you can also Mass Hero Blast one of your opponent's back row back to their hand, which that's actually not too bad. Being able to remove floodgates, like Summon Limit and Skill Drain. Well, I would say Skill Drain, but you would need to have some sort of like back row removal, like Cosmic or Twin or whatever. But again, being able to remove floodgates back, and bounce them back into the hand, that's actually not too bad, I have to admit. Next up, we have Purery Beauty, which is a rank 2 Water Fairy XCs, 1600 attack, 1100 defense, 2 level 2 monsters it requires. And the effect reads: once per turn, you can target one effect monster your opponent controls. Its effects are negated until the end of the turn, and it's a quick effect if this card has Pretty Memory as material. Okay, so it's basically an imperm. It's an imperm with legs. Dare I say more? I don't think so. Let's see here. Thrice per turn, when you activate a Purery Quickplay spell, as a quick effect, you can attach that card on the field to this card's material. Then you can change one opponent's monster's battle position. Oh, so it's basically... So I believe each of these effects have have a unique second effect. So I'm actually going to read off. I'm going to reread off each one. So happiness can bounce back row to the hand. Beauty can zero gravity one of your opponent's monsters. Plump, which is a rank 2 Earth Fairy, XCs with 200 attack and 2100 defense, has the effect where you can banish one monster in the field until the end phase. So it's kind of like a junk archer for the whole deck, which is really nice. And then the first effect of Plump reads: once per turn, you can target up to 2 back row in 2 spells and traps in the grave, attach them to this card's material, and it's a quick effect if this card has Delicious Memory as material. That's actually not too bad. Expiry Happiness, which is a rank 7 Life Fairy, exceeds with 2500 attack, 1100 defense. It requires 2 level 7 monsters, and it says you can also exceed someone's card by using a rank 2 you control with 5 or more materials. That's pretty fucking nutty. First effect says, during your main phase, you can detach 1 material from his card, and if you do, negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls until the end of the turn. And if this card has a level 1 Purery monster as material, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response. Oh my god, it's basically Dark Ruler No More. It's basically a Dark Ruler No More on steroids. Holy shit. What's the second effect? When an attack is declared involving this card with 5 or more materials, inflict 1500 damage to your opponent. Inflict 1500 to your opponent. Woohoo! That's a lot of damage. That is a lot of damage. Wow. That is insane. That's actually pretty good. I mean, being able to Dark Ruler No More your opponent's board and to be able to just pop off like that, that's actually pretty nutty. And to be able to deal damage like that, that's even more insane. Now we move on to the spells. So first of all, we have Stray Purity Street, which is the field spell for them. And it actually has 3 different effects. The first effect reads: your opponent cannot target Purity monsters you control with card effects the turn they were special summoned. It's a nice little protection, not bad. Second effect reads: once per turn, if a face-up Purity XCs Monster you control leaves the field by your opponent, special summon 1 level 1 Purity monster from your deck or graveyard. So it's basically, with this effect, it's basically a modified cyber rev system where you're able to just summon from your deck or graveyard. Again, I've talked about this before with other cards that have the same effect. Normally with cyber rev system, it's from the hand or graveyard, but this one is more unique. It's from the deck or the graveyard, so that's actually not too bad. That ain't too bad. Third effect reads: during each end phase, you can target 1 Purery XCs monster in the field, attach 1 Purery Quickplay spell from your deck or grave to it as material. Okay, yeah, I had a feeling because normally with certain decks, usually you run maybe 1 or 2 copies of certain cards, just because people will say that they can easily unbrick your hand. But this deck, you definitely need to have 3 copies of all of the quick play spells. That way you're able to go into your Expiry Happiness and to be able to just pop off from there, which is actually not too bad. So again, it's basically a protection monster reborn overlay eater, basically, sort of, which is actually not too bad. Alright, so now we move on to Purery My Friend, which is the continuous spell. And both of its effects are once per turn. And the first effect reads, you can pay 500 life points, reveal 3 Purery cards from your deck, except this card, and if you do, your opponent randomly picks one for you to add to your hand and shuffle the rest back into the deck. Again, just like Purery, this card can, the first effect also acts as a pot of duality, which, excuse me, which actually is pretty good, but the only downside is that your opponent is going to have an out to this, and there's one out for it. Yeah, you guessed it, Ash Blossom. Literally the only out to, one of the only outs to an effect like that. But I mean, as long as you're able to as long as you're able to have a floodgate on board where your opponent can't use hand traps, you're pretty much golden. And there's only one floodgate that can prevent hand traps from activating, and that's Mind Drain. And I've talked about this card in so many of my previous deck profiles. The card is just absolutely nuts. You pay 1,000. Monsters with effects in the hand cannot be activated. Ash Blossom, Ghost Bell, Ghost Ogre, Ghost Mourner, Ghost Reaper, Ghost Bell, Ghost Sister, Effect Veiler, Karibo. These hand traps cannot be used under Mind Drain, which is insane. And then the second effect reads, if a face-up Purery XCs Monster you control leaves the field by your opponent, even during the damage tab, you can add up to 3 Purery Quickplay spells with different names from your grave to your hand. So this is basically like a triple Magician of Faith, where you're able to just add spells directly to your hand from your graveyard, which is really cool. Next up, we move into the Quickplay spells that actually work with each of the XCs monsters. So first up we have Purery Happy Memory, which obviously is a Quickplay spell and has 2 separate effects. The first effect reads, apply this effect to 1 card of the field until the end of the next turn. Then you can discard a card, and if you do, special summon a level 1 Purery monster from your deck. Once applied, the next time that card would be destroyed by a card effect, it is not destroyed. Second effect reads, a Purery XCs monster that has this card as material gains this effect. This card can attack monsters a number of times each battle phase, up to the number of Purery Happy Memory attached to it +1. So again, basically you need to have 3 copies of each of the Quickplay spells to get off their effects multiple times, which is actually pretty cool. But basically, this is basically your Dragon Lords for the whole deck, which is really cool. Next up, we have Purery Pretty Memory. Try saying that 5 times fast. Quickplay, which is a Quickplay spell, obviously, and it has 2 separate effects as always. First effect reads, each player gains 1,000 life points, then you can discard 1 card, and if you do, special summon a level 1 Purery from your deck. A Purery monster that has this card as material gains this effect. Once per turn, you can send 1 other card you control to the grave, then target a card your opponent controls, and attach it to this card as material. So, it basically just allows you to... So this is basically your, this card is basically your Cyber Dragon Infinity for the whole deck, which is just absolutely insane. Being able to just use what was it? Beauty? What was it? Beauty, I think it was? Yeah. Being able to use Beauty as like a Cyber Dragon Infinity to just take one of your opponent's monsters and attach it to its own as a material is actually really good. And the best part, it's a perfect target for Zeus of all things, which is absolutely insane. Now we move on to to Purery Delicious Memory, which obviously is a quick play. Make one monster on the field unable to be destroyed by battle until the end of the next turn. Then you can discard a card, and if you do, special summon level 1 Purery from your deck. A Purery XCs Monster that has this card's material against this effect gains 300 attack and defense for each material attached to it. Yeah, that sounds about right. I must admit, this deck is actually pretty cool. I don't know if I should build them, honestly. I've been tempted to. But now we move on to the second to last new card that will be in the set. Amazing Defenders, and it's known as Purery Leap. Oh, that's right. I forgot it's Tuesday. It's trash day. I completely forgot. Anyway, it has two. Anyway, Purery Leap has two separate effects, and it's a normal. What is up with my nose? And it has two separate effects. So the effect of the normal trap Purery Leap, the first effect anyway, reads target one Purery XCs Monster you control, special summon one Purery XCs Monster with a different rank from your extra deck by using it as material, but return the summon monster to the extra deck during the end phase of the next turn. This is treated as an XCs summon. You can banish this. The second effect reads, you can banish this card, target up to 3 Purery monsters in your grave, and shuffle them into the deck. Okay, so this is a rather interesting thing to talk about. So basically, if you were to target, let's say, I'll say happiness. Let's say that you use it to summon Beauty, and then be able to pop off its effect, attach cards to Beauty as material, go into your battle phase, attack into whatever monster is weak, and then be able to XCs it off, rank it up into Zeus. You won't be able to. You're basically bypassing. You're basically bypassing the effect where it says return the summon card, the summon monster to the extra deck during the end phase of the next turn. You're basically bypassing that effect, which is actually pretty cool. And then for the reprint that will be in the set to go with the archetype, it is known as XCs Tribal Rivals, which I'm actually going to look up that effect. I've never seen that. I don't think I ever talked about that card on the channel before. Let's see what it does. Deck editor. I'll go to my Arcana deck. When was its release? What was it? Looks like Cosmo Blazer. Really? I've never seen that card before. So it's a continuous trap, which reads, face-up XCs monsters in the field with 2 or more materials cannot be destroyed by card effects. After damage count, if an XCs monster you control battles an opponent's monster, destroy that opponent's monster. That XCs monster must have 2 or more materials attached to it to activate and resolve this effect. Oh, now I understand why people didn't play this card at all. Now I know why. I mean, don't get me wrong. The card is good. The only downside is that it's not as big of a floodgate as people think. That's the problem. I mean, I'll admit the card is pretty cool, but still. But now we move on to our last card. It is known as Xperia Noir, which is a rank 7 Dark Fairy XCs with 1100 attack, 2800 defense, sorry. And it requires 2 level 7 monsters. And it says you can also XCs summon this card by using a rank 2 monster you control with 5 or more materials. And obviously you transfer its materials to this card. And it has 2 separate effects. And the first effect reads, This card with 5 or more materials is unaffected by your opponent's activated effects. It basically protects itself, which is kind of crazy. You can detach 2 materials from this card and target 1 card your opponent controls or in their graveyard, placed on the bottom of the deck. And it's a quick effect if this card has a level 1 Purery Monster as material. I mean it's not bad, but to be fair, you want to try and keep the materials onto him as much as possible. But that brings me to the question of the day. What are your guys' thoughts on the Purery archetype, and do you guys plan on playing the deck when this set comes out? Let me know down in the comments below, and that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want to see more Yu-Gi-Oh news videos, which get posted on Tuesdays, sometimes on weekends, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and follow me on all of my social media. Links will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.